Hello and welcome to Down and Dirty with Darci. I'm your host, Darci Smith, also known as Career Coach Darci. We are here to get down and dirty about careers, uncovering salaries, wild stories, backgrounds, and more from guests with some of the most eccentric professions each week. This podcast is presented by Onomy.
The countdown to record lasted so long. I actually was planning on starting with ooh, ah, 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 and then I switched it to my own song.
Oh, I love that song though.
Yeah.
Down with the sickness.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I wish I had any sort of voice. I actually went out last weekend on Saturday and this is how, what's the right word? I guess OCD I am. I'm so particular about things that I do that I knew that there was a potential that I was possibly going to stand up and do karaoke. So on my way in the Uber, I made the Uber listen to the karaoke song that I was going to play, the entire ride there over and over and over. So I told him, I'm like, hey, I got to get the words right. I got to get the rhythm right. What I'm going to do to each part.
What was the song?
Here for the Party by Gretchen Wilson.
I don't even know that. No. So
Here
sing
for
it.
the party, and I ain't leaving till they throw me out.
Oh, yeah. It's a country
Gonna
song,
have
right?
a little fun, gonna get me some. I can't sing.
Wait, you're kind of good.
No, I'm not.
I won't even bless people's ears with mine because I am completely tone deaf. I've heard multiple times. So
I'm so bad. I was so uncomfortable. And so I was like, I don't know if people are loving this or hating this, that I broke out into the worm after just to really throw some sass on it.
yeah, that's right. We need the worm on the pod at some point because you've mentioned it a few times now and I'm going to have to see. I'm going to have to see this.
I can only do it backwards though. I can't go forwards.
Oh,
I
can only go forward.
Deal breaker for you.
No, wait, we should do it at opposite because I can only go forward. So we can.
Okay. Yeah. We'll get that on tape.
Yeah.
Next recording day.
Let's do it. It's
Deal.
Personality.
Yeah. What was your weekend like, Raimee?
Do
you remember this time?
I do remember. I came prepared. So I did watch the Super Bowl, and by that I mean I watched Rihanna's performance. And yes, that's
I need a scale of 1 to 10. No context. No context. Just scale of 1 to 10. Did you like it? Dislike it? 10 being loved it. 1 being hated it.
I would give it a 9. I really wanted Eminem to come out and perform the Love the Way You Lie. I was really banking on that, but I just give her props because she was pregnant. She was flying on that thing with no attachments, and that was freaking me out. So
yeah.
And I liked the Marshmallow Dancer people. I
agreed.
I just liked it. It was fun,
Yeah.
and I don't think it needed to be a whole crazy thing. I just wish that Eminem was there too, but it's okay.
See, I agree. And I think she has banger after banger after banger.
Yeah.
Every song, right? You're oop, no, that one, no, that one. She killed it. However, I'm a girl of, is it frills or thrills?
Thrills, theatrics. You wanted a little
It's
more.
thrills?
You wanted outfit change. You wanted all of that. Yeah.
But I thought, is the word not frills with an F? I thought it was.
No, I think frills. You want the
So it is an
frills.
F.
I think so.
Or
there's
it's
thrills
TH.
and frills.
Oh.
There's both. There's both. They both apply.
Okay. Then, okay. Yeah, I wanted more thrill. I'm going to say thrill feels right to me. I wanted more, and I wanted outfit changes, and I wanted maybe her stomach was just out and about. That would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
I don't know. Like I said, banger after banger for sure, but I would have appreciated a bit more.
A bit more pizzazz. Yeah, I get it. I'm you know what? She went there not getting paid with a plan to show off her Fenty stuff, collect that check, and move on. And for that, I'm killing it, queen.
I like it. What else did you do besides the Super Bowl?
I actually hung out with one of our past podcast guests, Zach of Detroit Pizzas and Gamers Outrage.
Nice.
He belongs to this bougie dog park in LA. It's a members only dog park, which is very pristine. They have Wi-Fi.
What?
They have chaga mushroom coffee there. It's very LA. And so I went to the dog park with him, and it was fun.
That sounds so fun.
It was heaven. It's heaven. It's called Dog People. Not sponsored by them, but it's just a great,
but if you want,
great place. Yeah.
my DMs are open.
Yeah.
I have so many questions about this. Like, do you know anything about how much it costs to join? Do you know? You do. Can you share this information?
Yeah, it's $80 a month. I think anyone can join as long as they're not like full of members. But it's $80 a month. It comes with, you can go there to work. Like you can just chill there all day with your dog and work. It's completely all outdoors. It's such a good idea. I don't know why they don't do it everywhere, but I don't know. It's amazing.
Yeah, what? This is like my dream. My actual dream, I have it written out on like a piece of paper somewhere, and I actually drew out the whole thing. I want to own eventually a dog park. And I had originally called it the dog park, but then I was like, man, that's just not original enough. But anyways, we'll just go with it. So the dog park.
It could work. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We'll flesh that out. But it's a huge circle. So picture like a big circle, the whole thing on the outside, like a doggy run play park.
Yeah.
And then the inner circle is like, have you ever been to that Vegas bar where it's a circle bar in the middle of like everything? So you sit around the circle, but you can still see behind you and in front of you. I don't know. It's hard to describe.
But I've seen it. Yeah.
So you're sitting in a bar at the circle, and then there's like another ring around you for all the doggies.
Yeah.
But they have like their own separate play area, so there's not like too much commotion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, it'd just be so fun. And then like
you
there's
need
a
to
work
look
area.
This up.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to look it up.
Okay.
It's Dog People, PPL, like dog people.
Okay.
But it's basically that. Yours sounds cooler though, low key. So, but you should do it. You should I feel like it's just needed everywhere. It's such a good idea.
I mean, if I lived in LA, 100%, I would be a part of that. I would definitely budget in $80 a month for the dog people.
It's worth it. It's worth it. I think I'm like considering getting a dog just so I can go there more often because it is really cool.
You should. Another big thing that happened to me this weekend is I got Ryan, my boyfriend, into watching this podcast I listened to called This Is Important. Okay. Do you or have you watched Workaholics?
Yes, of course. I actually just listened to Adam Devine's thing with Call Her Daddy.
Call Her Daddy? Yeah. Okay, so he has a podcast with like all the guys from that show. And I listen to it normally, but I just started watching it on YouTube, and I was like, Ryan, you have to watch this. It's so funny. And now he's hooked. So he's like going back and listening to like all the episodes. And so we just keep like riffing and like saying all their jokes that are amazing. Not funny unless you listen to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like one of those things.
From the show? Are they talking about the show or just like anything?
No, it's just anything. They just like talk about literally anything, and they just like, they keep going off like the bit, you know, for just like hours.
Yeah, they're just so funny.
It's so funny. I'm like, am I getting funnier or am I getting dumber? I don't know. But either way, I'm having the time of my life. Like the time of my life. I'm like,
I'm gonna add
literally laughing out loud. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Ryan was like, I was working on like some, you know, the things he does. He was working on something and he was up on a roof. And he's like, I have like one headphone in and I'm just like laughing out loud at this. And he's like, and I see these roofers across, like, what is this guy laughing at? I'm like,
that's amazing.
Makes me
so my gosh, God, don't distract him because his job is so crazy. Like, I don't want him laughing up there.
Also true. Yeah. Anyone listening, he does not listen to podcasts when he works. Nope.
No. And if you need to learn more about what he does, he's in the last episode and it is pretty crazy.
Oh man. Okay. Another thing I started this week is so embarrassing. Posting on LinkedIn.
Oh, I'm proud of you. That's good. You have a community there.
Oh my gosh. It is so hard though. Like for someone that posts her face all over TikTok and Instagram, I have such a block when it comes to LinkedIn. I feel like it's just all my, you know, grandparents that like figured out Facebook and then they went to LinkedIn. And it's just like, that's the people there. And I don't know how to navigate it. You know, those like crazy posts where they're like, I walked outside and helped someone get up off the street and then walked them. And then they found a dog and then they got a job because I helped them.
It's like there's literally
they found a Tesla.
Yeah, and then they went into the job interview and the CEO was the dog and it offered him the job. And like that just shows why you need to be nice to everyone. It's like, so cringe. And I feel like you have to start every LinkedIn post with like a controversial sentence and then a little sob story, the lesson you learned, and follow along for more about blah. That's the formula to a LinkedIn post. I hate it. But I'm proud of you because I think that
Thank you.
There are a certain amount of people there that love that kind of stuff, clearly. So
Yeah.
You know?
No, and I have already seen a return on investment. Like I posted 3 times and I already have 2 calls from it. So it's like people are seeing my things and I'm like, okay, it's good. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
for you in the career space, it's definitely, it's just one other platform to be on.
I know. I wanted to bring it up because I think people are like, Darci, you're a career coach and you have a recruiting, like you should be on LinkedIn. Like that's actually where you should be other than TikTok. Like that seems a little bit odd. Yeah. But I guess I went backwards and I went TikTok first. And now I don't want to discourage other people from posting because I do think there is something about like, especially as from the candidate's perspective, you're posting and like showing people your skills and things. And it's going to get you noticed and potentially get you a really good job. So all in all, I'm saying don't let the cringe stop you.
Yeah. Be cringe and free. Every time you are cringe and free, life happens in the best ways. I've found at least. So.
Oh my God. Cringe and free. Can we make that a shirt?
Oh my gosh. Wait, we actually
that is
because
such a good shirt. Like cringy and free or cringe and free. I would wear that everywhere.
I'm cringe, but I am free.
I'm free. Like, oh my God.
You just gotta own it. I think we should. Maybe this is our first merch. I don't know.
Yeah. Also, I have a quick question. If for those aren't watching, we have a podcast. It's on YouTube. But I just want to show Raimee my background. So I do have these like 2 whiskey bottles that stand behind me. Is it classy? Like, do I look like classy or do I look not classy?
I think it looks cool. It's like, oh, she's a girl that knows the good stuff to drink. And unlike me, who hates whiskey. So, I think it looks cool and I'm inspired.
Because sometimes I stand in front of it. Yeah, because I drink them, obviously. I'm so cool. I think I need a decanter. Those like glass, like when you
walk,
have
one for my wine.
Yeah. And they have like the fancy like little top that comes off and it's like crystal. Yeah, I'm gonna get that in here. And then
you should. They're cool. Okay. They're cool. I love it. So who are we interviewing this week, Darci?
Oh my God. We have Becca Miner. She is an artist relationship manager at the biggest venue in America. I'm obsessed with her and her story. She was so inspiring too, just like how she got she works in the music industry. I don't want to give too much away, but she gets to do amazing, cool things. And I feel like the way that she got it is like exactly what I talk to people about all the time. Like really putting yourself in the best places possible. Like she knew from her hometown, I know which venue I need to work at to get my shit out there. And she was like, I'm going to figure out a way to do it, even if people say I can't. And
she had a lot of really good advice and like kind of not even hard truths, but almost. It's like she talked a lot about how people think it's going to be so easy to get to where she is now. But I think she had a lot of great advice about how exactly she was able to get to this job. And she does such cool things now working with huge artists and she gets to meet them. And I loved the conversation. It was one of my favorites.
Yeah. I'm actually coming back out to LA in March and AFI, which is like my secret favorite band.
Same. We're both emo lovers. Yeah.
So they're playing at that venue, and so I'm definitely gonna go. March 11th, if you're free and want to join. But and I'm like now listening to how her and how much she loves it and the people she works with and getting to meet the bands that come in and stuff. I'm I cannot wait to ask her how the hell AFI is. I can't picture them in a normal human setting other than their weirdness on stage.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Wait, by the way, in the episode we say what the venue is, but we're kind of teasing it right now, right?
Oh, I'm just being so annoying. Yeah,
we're being annoying. So just listen to the interview. It's great. There's so much more detail. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Becca is from the tundra that is Buffalo, New York. She went to a small college about 45 minutes outside of Buffalo and got her degree in music business. In her career, she's worked at various venues with radio companies, production companies, and has toured twice. That's a tongue twister.
I know.
She's now working at the #1 venue in the country. Her schedule is pretty abnormal compared to normal working human. I cannot wait to ask you about this and how you live your life. But in her free time, if she ever has any, she loves seeing a show or event that she's not working. Okay, so you really love this industry. She also enjoys reading books, doing yoga, eating good food, and being with friends, and is pretty much down for anything to give herself a break from the crazy schedule. Welcome to the pod, Becca. Let's get down and dirty.
Thank you.
Thanks so much
Good to be here.
agreeing to do this. I actually just met Becca recently through some friends because you're living with some friends of mine.
Yeah.
And you met them through the industry or
Randomly. One of my coworkers was like, she knew I wanted to move out like of where I was living. I was too far away from work. And so she's like, I'll keep an eye out if, you want me to. And I was like, yeah, I don't care at this point. Like, I need to be closer to work. Like my schedule's too crazy. So Daniel's friend, Alec, can I say names?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to yeah. So Daniel's friend Alex posted about it because he used to live with Daniel. And Amanda, my coworker, is friends with Alex. So she was like, hey, like I have this apartment, like, and she was like, Alex is great. And I was like, cool. And then I think I was texting with Daniel, went over and saw it, loved
Worked
it.
out.
I was like,
you're like the real new girl.
I know, that's what everyone says. That's
you
what
live with two
everybody
guys,
says.
right?
Yeah.
Just two. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I didn't meet Joe right away because he was on tour. He came back. I met him, and I was like, "Please pick me." I was like, "Please pick me as your roommate." And then luckily they did. So it's perfect timing.
Take us back. So you're from Buffalo.
Yeah.
Are you a Buffalo fan? Like
Bills?
Yeah.
Go
Buffalo.
Bills. Yeah.
I've always wanted to be one of those fans because they jump on tables, and that just seems like my kind of energy.
I've never jumped on a table before. I've actually only been to one Bills game.
So it's fine.
Okay. So I do want to clarify. It's easier to say I'm from Buffalo. I am from a small town near like Syracuse, but I just consider it Buffalo. It's just easier to tell people here. Yeah.
Did you always know you wanted to be in the music industry?
Yes.
Okay. I saw you have a tattoo of like a music note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's here.
No big deal.
I forget about it. I think I knew like I didn't want to be a performer. I didn't want to be in a band. I didn't want to be an artist. I had no interest in that. I just knew like I wanted to be in the business. Like I knew I just wanted to do like the background stuff, like, be not on stage. I was like, that is not for me. I did like a few plays in high school and I was like, oh, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
But I wanted to like be in like the behind the scenes of it. I was like, I want to be right up in there. So
That's so cool. And how did you start? So you went to school for music? Is that?
Yeah, I went to school for music business. And I knew there was a venue in Buffalo that I'd been to a few times, and I was like, it'd be really cool to work there. And it was funny because my advisor at the time was like, oh, no one gets to intern there. Like no one does it. And like
watch me,
there's
bitch.
just very literally I was like, watch me.
Yeah.
And so I just reached out to them and I was like, hey, I really want to intern here. And I needed internship hours anyway, but I was like, this is really what I want to do. Like I want to be here. I don't want to just do something to do it. So I just reached out and I was like, hey, I want to intern. Like this is where I'm at, like whatever. And they got back to me and I was just interning in the box office. Like it wasn't anything crazy, but
was it free? Did you intern for free?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Which was fine because I got to see shows still, like I got like the perks of it in that way. And I was there probably 3 to 4 times a week, but I only really was there that much because I really put myself out there and was like, I want to learn production stuff. I want to learn box office. I want to learn literally anything I can learn. And they were like, okay, cool. We can always use the extra help.
This is such good advice, by the way, too. It's like, I always tell people, like, it's like a cold email can go a long way. And you literally just did that. Like, you're like, yeah, I'm going to just email them and see if they'll take me. And of course, they're going to want free help, like, low. And you're like, I'm just going to learn everything I can.
Yeah. So it was great. I mean, like, they were like, hey, we have to, it was like, it was stuff that, like, of course, I was like, I don't want to go in and, like, wrap cables and like clean lights and like clean the venue. Like I don't want to do that, but I was like, but I also do want to do it because I want people to get to know me. I want them to know that I'm like serious about learning as much as I can. And so I just started going in more and they were like, if you want to come in like during the day. So like literally on my days that like I had a class in the morning, I would literally just drive to Buffalo right after and just be there all day and then like drive back at night. And I was getting down and dirty. You know what I mean? So, and I was like, this is just what I got to do. And like, and then I had to have my professor or my advisor sign off on like my internship hours. And it was funny because he was like, oh, you're interning at Town Ballroom? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, how'd you get into there? And I was like, I just did. And I was like, no thanks to you. And he was just shocked that I like actually was like, because he's very good friends with one of the owners. And I was like,
so he could have helped you.
He could have helped me, but I think he was trying to pull the card of like, oh, it's like really hard like, to get in there. And like, it's very selective, you know? So, but yeah, so then I just kept doing anything and everything I could. And like people started to get to know me and I was asking everybody questions. Like I was like, what's this, and this? And like, how do you do this? And like, what is like, I didn't know how a show went from start to finish. Like I was like, obviously I know like, you know, they come in, they load in, they set up the stage, whatever, but like, it's just so much more, like there's just so much more detail. And I was like, I want to do it. So then they, towards like the end of my internship, I think I knew, and they knew that I was just going to like be working there afterward. Like I was actually going to be paid and like I was going to start actually being an employee. And so, I started what the term is runner, which means like, I'm just responsible for getting the band whatever they need, taking them wherever they need to go, kind of just like their point person for the day. If they are like, hey, our drummer broke his toe, like can you go get some like bandages? Like
Isn't
that's
that
literally
like, I thought I heard somewhere that you can get them like certain what is it called, like food, or they like tell like I like my burgers with no mustard, like it's like super specific. Right?
So there's a funny story about that, because the first time I ever was a runner, I was driving from I was driving from my school to Buffalo, and the tour manager started calling me, and I'm like, dude, I'm driving, like I'm not answering you. And so I walk in, and he was just like, why aren't you answering your phone? And I'm like, I'm sorry, like I was driving, I just parked. And he was like, okay, well, I need you to go get lunch for like 20 or 30 of us, and we're all ordering from different places. And I was like, oh, here we go. And so, but it was very specific. Like there was like no mayonnaise on this one and like whatever. So I bring it all back, and he starts going through it, and he's like, this is wrong. You got to go back. And I was like, oh my God, what?
This is like what you see in movies.
And then I still had to go do like the full grocery shop for them. So they like send in like a hospitality rider with like all the stuff they want for their dressing room, and you have to go shop it. So I was like, okay, all right, here I go. I'm like already feeling defeated. I'm like, this is the first time I'm doing this for money and like whatever. So
what kind of money do you get paid to be a runner?
So that is actually like that's like a flat daily rate. I used to get 150 for that. I think they upped it to like over 200 because they realized that like you use your own gas, like you drive a lot, you do a lot of stuff for these bands, you know, like you aren't just sitting there. I mean, sometimes honestly, they really don't have you doing much, but it's like still, you know,
but you're
like
there on call basically.
And
how many hours like would it take? 'Cause it's not like a normal 8-hour day.
No, it's not. I would get there at like probably 10 in the morning, and then it really kind of depends on when they cut you. Like if they're just like, we're good for the night. But I mean, I could be there for 14 hours, like 10 a.m. to midnight, or like even later. Cause sometimes they would like order pizza and they're like, no, we want you to go get it. We don't want it delivered. And I'm like, of course.
What? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So then I was like, all right, this is the music industry. But then it's just like,
how long did you do that for?
Just get better. I mean, so I started running. So then I graduated in 2017, and then I just worked from 2017 to 2022, sorry. When like right before I moved here. So
you were still working at that venue?
Yeah. Okay. I started doing other things. I kind of was like, I kept running for a few years, and like I was even like doing load ins and load outs. Like I was getting my hands dirty. I was getting all up in there, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I was sometimes like the only girl, and I think they looked at me and were like, but then I think like people started respecting women in the music industry more, and they kind of looked at me and were like, oh, you're going to do this? And I'm like, literally just tell me what to do and I'll do it. Like show me. Yeah. Just like, I was like, just give me a job. Just show me what I got to do and I will do it.
Yeah.
And like it was funny because you could tell they were like using me for things that like dudes just couldn't do. And it was like kind of funny because I was like, well, I get to go up here and like plug this in because like no one else can, you know, no one else is like that flexible or whatever. But I was like, I can do more than that, you know? Yeah. So then, I just started doing like load in, load out. And then I was like, oh God, and I wasn't full time. So at the same time, I was working at a radio company. I was working at, I think I was still working at Starbucks or something.
Yeah,
like I was doing like 4 different jobs at a time.
Oh my gosh.
Cause I was like, I got to live here and I'm not full time. And like, so it's just like making sure I was working enough. But Town Ballroom, like the venue that I worked at was the most important to me because I was like, this is what's going to get me in. And like the radio company was awesome because we got to work like all these big festivals and like I made shit money.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still like, it was my in, you know?
Mm-hmm. Would you do anything different if you could go back? Or do you
Honestly,
feel like,
no.
Yeah. That's awesome.
No. I think like I put myself out there as much as I could. And I like did like, I didn't half-ass anything.
Yeah.
I know that I went into it and I was like, this is my job. I'm taking it seriously. And like, I even had times where my boss at like the radio company or even like Town Ballroom where I was running, like they would put me in like the highest position they could because they were like, we trust you with it. And like even I had like this boy band, Why Don't We? I don't know if you know who they are, but they're not really doing anything anymore, but they like specifically, so when I was working for the radio company, they did one of the festivals. I was their runner and like the tour manager and I got along really well. We like talked about like what I wanted to do. And like, you know, I was never like annoying about it. Like, oh my God, I really want to do this one day. And like, what do you do? Like, I just know like they have a job to do and like,
Right.
they're tired and whatever. But, you know, I'd be like, oh, like, so how many dates of the tour do you have? Or like, you know, just kind of like talking like small talk. And he was like really interested in like what I wanted to do. And I think just like the passion shows through. Like you're not trying to be this annoying person that's asking him a million questions, but you're just like, I'm passionate about this. Like, how do I do what you do? And he like requested me for the next time they came in. And like my boss was like thrilled because she was like, I'm so glad that we have you that's like here and that we trust and that like people ask for you and like people like to see you again. And I was like, oh, that's great. Like, that's so cool.
Yeah. This is like, it transcends over so many things. Like just being that person in the room that's like willing to network and ask questions. And I know like our mutual friend, Joe, he's the same way. Like everywhere he goes, he's like making friends, talking, like networking. And I'm just like, it's exhausting. Like I like to network.
Oh, it's exhausting.
It's exhausting. And then in your industry, it's like, that's how you get jobs.
Oh yeah.
Like that's how people are like, we know her from this other thing,
Yeah.
And she's like been great at it.
Yeah.
How did you can we say where you work?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
The forum.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so cool. I love the forum. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your title at the forum?
Booking coordinator, but I feel like it really is not just like, but I don't do any of the booking, but I kind of like help with like everything that surrounds booking. Like I'm really like in charge of like making sure we have our contracts and making sure that everything is kind of set for the show. Like we have everything we need. Like if there's any filming agreements, I just like make sure that everything is in order. But that's just like honestly half of it. Like the biggest part of it is managing all the dressing rooms and being like the point person for the tour every single time they come in.
Oh my
so
gosh.
it's like I meet with the tour. I'm like, hey, if you need anything for the dressing rooms, like just let me know. And then I kind of can point them to other employees that they need to speak to as well. Like if they have questions about ticketing, I can kind of be like, this is your point person. Like I'm just kind of there to like navigate because there's a lot of different people at the forum and a lot of different, like it's just funny because they'll come in and be like, okay, so your dressing rooms, but this girl is like hospitality. And I'm like, yeah, I know they're two different things. That's annoying. And that's very frustrating and like confusing, but like just come to me and I'll point you to whoever you need. So it's really cool getting to work with like a bunch of different people all the time. It's never the same. So
You were just on Harry Styles, right? Because Harry Styles did like a bunch of shows at the
15
forum.
nights of Harry Styles. Yeah.
15?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I still love him. So I don't know.
I saw your Instagram. You're like taking
Literally,
videos of like
night
watching the
one,
show.
night two,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, oh, I can't post anymore. Like they don't care. Like
Yeah. No, I cared. I loved it. How was his dressing room? I feel like he's probably like has like so much fun stuff.
Yeah. No, his dressing room was really cool. We did like a lot of like of our own decor for him. So we made it look really nice for him. Like we had our like designers come in and kind of put like, you know, just like a welcome back kind of like vibe. Well, when he came back, because then he had to postpone shows, whatever.
Right.
But like kind of like a welcome home thing because it was like Harry's house.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
That's so fun. And then do you get to actually watch the show or just like like little pieces of it?
yeah, no, definitely get to watch the show.
Do you get the good spot? Like you can go wherever you want?
I can kind of like for Harry specifically, it was like a general admission floor. So
Nice.
like me and my coworkers would just go down on the floor and like get to see the show from there. But I could kind of like move around if I wanted to, which I did because I was like, I want to see it not from the floor. You know, I want to see it like from different views.
You're like, night one, I'll go here. Night two,
Yeah,
I'll go here.
I had to like plan it out. But
Yeah.
no, it was great. I mean, his whole crew is great. He's really nice.
That's awesome.
Really good team to work with. Like when he postponed the shows, it was kind of sad, but then we knew they were coming back. So it was really cool to have them like back in the building. Like it was like a, oh, we're reunited. Like we all like hugged each other and said like, welcome back. And like, it's so good to see you. And it was just
Wait,
like,
so you've hugged Harry?
I didn't hug Harry.
Okay.
I wish
like,
I hugged
let
Harry.
me touch you.
I just had like a random interaction with him in our hallway.
Yeah.
Just like said hi and he was like, how are you? Like he's always so nice. Like he
awesome.
like really appreciates all of us like as the staff, you know, for taking care of him and his team and stuff. So
That's so good to hear that.
it was cool, but I just like saw him like in his like normal clothes and like not like stage wear, like, you know, his hair was clipped back. It was just like a normal like interaction. I was like, that's so cool. Like,
Yeah.
he just walks around, like does whatever he wants and like, yeah. So it was really fun.
Do you have a favorite artist that you've worked with?
Honestly, probably Harry.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's obviously been like a ton of other artists in there. I just think that because he did 15 nights, it was like a family kind of thing. Like where, you know, you'd see certain crew members and like you just say hi and like you catch up and we just had so much fun and it was like it was cool because we just like knew each other, so we were like, hey, anything you need, like, and just seeing his whole crew, they all just kind of like got to know us. I don't know, it was like a special thing because not every tour that comes in is like wants to make the connection. They're just like, I'm doing a job, you're doing
In
a
and
job.
out, yeah.
Let's just like get it done and like whatever. And it's just very like professional, like just like work. It's not like I want to get to know you and like whatever. So that was really cool.
What's your hours? I know they're crazy.
Oh God, I don't really have hours. I mean, I do work like a normal like 40-hour week schedule if we don't have a show. But if we have a show, I mean, it really could range. I mean, I'm there like, I mean, obviously like the month of October with having Harry and other shows, it was crazy.
Because you go in at like 8 a.m., like a normal.
I go in at like 9:30.
Okay.
And then I'm done at 6 on like a normal day.
And then you'll go back for the
But
show.
for a show, no, I stay there all day. So like
Oh,
I'm
you'll
there.
just stay.
I get there at like 10 on show days. And I mean, I could be there until my job specifically, I am required to stay until the artist leaves. So, because it's like, you know, they're still using the dressing rooms if anything happens, you know. So like I've been there until 3 a.m. before.
Wow.
So
Hopefully that's not tonight because we're supposed to hang out.
it will not be tonight. There is
a show, right?
There is a small event, but it's not like a show. It's not
Okay.
like it's just like a small little thing. So
Nice.
no, it will not be tonight. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it definitely like the thing is like everyone I work with understands that it's like a balance, right? So like you need a work-life balance. Everyone that I work with understands that and like is very much like they very much want that. You know, it's not like oh, you have to work all the time, never time off, like never get to work from home. It's like, okay, we understand that you're working 3 shows this week, so you know, you work from home a couple of days or you know, whatever. So it's very flexible, and I honestly haven't had a time yet. I mean, I'm sure there will be where I've had to like miss out on something important or not be able to go home. Like obviously I have to fly all the way back to New York. So I haven't had a time where I've had to miss out on something important, which is really nice. So
Yeah. And like you absolutely love it, right? Like you're just like you love being
I do.
around that whole industry and that's so cool.
I do.
How did you get the job? Did you apply to a position that was open and was it like
Yeah. I went on my second tour in February of 2022. And got back around like March. I stayed in LA for like a week with a friend of mine and just kind of like got to see LA and just I wasn't even really like doing it to be like, oh, I want to see if I'll live there. It was just really taking a break from like touring for a month and a half straight. And I was like, you know what? I have nothing to go back home for right now. So I'm going to take a break and like stay in LA. And so like I kind of hung out with some friends here and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool.
not
I was
bad.
like, it's a lot. Like it's big. It's like traffic. It's like a lot of the things I wasn't used to back in Buffalo. And I was like, oh, like, yeah, this would be cool. And my friend was like, if you ever want to move here, like we have an extra room, like him and his wife had an extra room in their house. And he's like, you can stay here for as long as you need. And I was like, oh, that's really good to know. Like, thank you. I just went home and I was like, I'm kind of sick of going on tour, coming back and just like working at the venue and just like doing all these random things just to like live. And I was like, I just want more. And I was never thinking like I want to move to LA, but then I just was like, one day I was like, you know what, I'm gonna look up and see what jobs are out there. And I love touring, but I just wasn't really like getting any more offers. I wasn't really like, it was just kind of like, it felt difficult for me to like find other positions in touring.
In touring, are you like 1099 or W-2'd?
I'm pretty sure it was 1099.
Yeah, because it's just like buy the tour and then you get paid. Yeah. Because this job you have now is a W-2, right? Like it's like a full.
Yes.
Like
it's like a full-time job. Yeah. And so I just kind of like applied. Like I was just like, I'm gonna look up the forum. Like, why not? Because like I'd never been there, and my friends here just like couldn't say enough good things about it.
Oh,
and
it's such a good venue.
Yeah, it's great. And so I was like, oh, this position looks like I could do it. Like I'm qualified. Everything on it is kind of like what I already do in a way. And I was like, but I've never like done this exact position, but I've done like everything under the qualification. So I was like, I'm just going to apply. Like I didn't even think anything of it. This was the only job I applied to. I just like closed my computer, walked away, was like, I don't know, we'll see.
People listening will be like, I hate you.
No, literally. I hate myself, like honestly. I hate it for me. Well, I love it for me, but I hated it for me because I was like, this doesn't happen to me. Like I don't just like get that lucky and like for me to just apply to one job and then it happens. But I got called like a month later and they wanted to interview me and I honestly had forgotten about it. I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. And I went through 3 interviews and I was like really nervous and I was like, I wasn't like.
Were they video or did they fly you out here?
Yeah, it was just all Zoom. But I was like, I was so nervous because I was like, oh, like this is a big possibility. Like I was like, I got to start like actually thinking about this. And then like the HR lady called me and she was like, yeah, we want to hire you. And when can you be out here? And I was like, oh my God, this was in April of last year. And I was like, oh my God. Okay. And I had already committed to working the NFL draft that month. So I was like, well, I do have like a prior commitment for, 10 days, whatever, but I can be there like middle of May. And they were like, yeah, whatever you need. And I was like,
amazing.
Oh my God. And then I like immediately like called my sister and I called my friend that lived here and I was like, so can I have that room? Like,
can I actually stay?
And I was like, yeah, can I actually come out and like live with you? And he's like, dude, yeah, like that's amazing. Like, I'm so excited for you. Like, this is crazy. Like, and so I was just like, wow. So I had like a week to just kind of like sort everything out because then I was going to work the NFL draft and I came back for 3 days, packed the rest of my stuff, packed my car and left. And drove to LA.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We're a big football podcast over here, right, Raimee?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Woo, go team.
No, I'm just curious. What did you do for the NFL draft?
I was like a production coordinator. So I was like the assistant to one of the main producers. So I kind of just helped them really with like whatever they needed to do during the day, which honestly included like I put together all of like the packs for passes for each performer and each like artist that was playing and had to go like drive around Vegas and just drop them off to everybody. But helped out with like moving talent. I had to help out with, so I was kind of stage managing for the 3 days of the draft and I think it was 3 days, 2 or 3. And so just kind of like moving people in, get them queued for like stage time. We had like a few instances where like somebody went out and chose like fans to do the picks. And I kind of had to like coordinate them and just like make sure they were ready to go, make sure they had their cue card. I was like running cue cards back and forth. And like, it was just cool though, because like there was still like artists there but it was also cool because I had never worked a sports event. So I was like, oh, now I get to see how this works. It's very similar to like a festival or like a concert or something, but it was just like a different clientele and like it was just a different company. So that was really, really cool. Like I loved doing that. Yeah. So
if you had any advice for someone that wants to get into the music industry or just like production, that type of world, what would you say? I mean, like if just from talking with you, I would say get an internship and get that stuff on your resume. But what would you say?
I would say an internship is really important, but I also think just networking, asking questions. I don't think anyone ever is annoyed that they have to talk about themselves. So
right. I say that all the time. I'm like, pump someone's tires. Like,
no, literally. Yeah. Because then they'll be like, oh yeah. So like, I've done this. Yeah. And they're like, oh, you want to know about me? But no, like I wouldn't like badger someone in like the wrong time, like at the wrong time. Like, oh, you're trying to do your job right now. Let me just ask you a bunch of questions. But like, once I got them, like, it's like, hey, I'm just curious, like, how do I do this, or how can I do that, or like, and I had so many instances where they were like, let me put you in touch with this person, and like, you should just be friends with this person, because you never know, like, if they'll, you know, post that they need someone for a tour, or they need someone for like a job or whatever. So I think just like the most important thing is to just like talk to people. Like, even if you're nervous, you're like, oh, like, I don't know if they're going to want to talk to me, or if they're going to want to talk about it, or if they're going to want to give me advice. It's like, you're just putting yourself out there, and like, make it known that like there's things that you want to learn things, and don't be too good for something. Like I was saying, do you really think I wanted to go in and like clean lights and like clean the whatever? But like, people remember that stuff. People remember that you came in and you worked and you like did all these things that not necessarily you didn't want to do, but you didn't complain about it. You weren't sitting there like, oh, I don't want to do this. It's like, no, because that whole time you're there, you get to talk to these people about what they do and like what, you know, they might be able to offer you in the future. Or like, you never know, like, when someone needs someone, you know what I mean? Like, you never know when someone's going to need someone for a job, or like, if they're like, hey, you'd be the perfect person to do this. And it's like, just start from the bottom. You're going to have to, like, this industry, you really got to start from the bottom.
Kim Kardashian would love you.
Like, these, you gotta work.
Like,
No one
Becca's
wants to work anymore.
Yeah.
Get off your ass.
Becca's the epitome of like who she was talking about. But like, honestly, I think I did a TikTok post about this and it got so much hate, but I was like, I'm so sick of people being like, I'm not doing that. It's not in my job description. I don't get paid for that, blah, blah. And like,
nope.
I'm the first person that's like, ask for a raise and like, you know your worth.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you don't have worth, if you just graduated, you have nothing to show.
Literally.
What the fuck do you think? Like, you have to get your ass up and work.
Yeah,
it's
Gen
so true.
Zers, man, they're so entitled.
Fuck them.
It's so true.
Sorry.
It's like, yeah,
heated.
literally, it's so true
Drink my
though. Just
coffee.
because, like, I had so many people in college that were like, I just really want to do like A&R. Like, I don't want to do anything else.
What's
and I'm
that?
like,
Sorry.
so artist relations,
Okay.
like, like that kind of stuff. And they would be like, I want to do this, like A, B, or C. And I'm like, it's just like, I don't know how you can say that when you're not even like graduated yet. Like, you don't have experience. Like, I get that you have a goal and that's great. Like, but I kind of was just like, I'll do, like, I'll learn whatever. I wasn't like, I was just like, oh, I'll do anything. But like, kind of was like, I was like, you know what, I'll learn whatever. Like, I'll eventually have like a solid goal. But like, how can you go from like 0 to 100, like with nothing, you know?
Right.
So it's like, I always just say like, do anything you have the opportunity to do, and like, don't be an asshole about it. Like, don't be like, oh, I'm too good for this, or like, I can't believe I'm like cleaning the bathrooms, or like whatever. It's just like, but if you're there, like, that's the thing. I was at the venue. I was at where I wanted to be. I was in the environment I wanted to be in. I was around the people I wanted to be in. I didn't care what I was doing. I started bartending there because I was like, you know what? I probably am going to meet so many cool people.
Yeah.
And like, I'm making a lot of money, and like, but I'm still seeing shows. I'm still here. I'm still doing it. You know,
You're around
it's like,
it. Yeah.
yeah. So I
actually,
honestly,
I worked at the Forum too, because I worked at Cintas.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so they do all of your like soaps and all that. So like, I'd be there like walking around the whole freaking circle, like filling up all the soap dispensers. I would have to take the urinal cakes and like throw them away and like put new ones in. It was awful. On my first job, I was a management trainee, so it was like a nice title, but they just made you do like all the shit work. And they wanted it so like, when you get into a manager position, you can say, hey, I've actually done that, even though like, it's kind of bullshit. You've done it maybe a couple days, but still you can say you've done it. So we also serviced Starbucks, and so we'd have to take all the towels from Starbucks.
I worked at Starbucks. Yeah, so I know exactly.
You know, and I'd have to take all the towels and then like sort them and everything when we get back to the plant, the like warehouse plant. And I had maggots all over me because those freaking towels are disgusting, because you guys are wiping up all the whole milk and stuff. Oh my gosh. And so they're and all my boss is like, oh, you finally, you know, had the maggot, whatever. It was like a thing, right? It was like your rite of passage at Cintas to have like the maggot towels.
Like, cool, check. Like,
I'm like, so glad I worked here. So glad I got an MBA to be doing this.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's just what you do. And I feel like it's all part of it. I mean, my cousin is like, she just got out of the music industry, but she worked in it for a very long time, and it was a grind. Like, I remember every time I talked to her, I'm like, but she did like the Roxy and like the Palladium. And she was, I don't know, a marketing manager for all of them. So she was always there for everything. And I'm like, do you ever not work? And she's like, but I love it. Like, you know, and now, I mean, she's, I she's at Google, which is really cool.
Yeah, that is really cool.
But she's like really like pushed herself and like gotten out there and been doing these things. I'm like,
It's a grind.
it's a grind. Yeah. So speaking of, what do you want to do? Like, it's an interview now. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Okay, so I don't know. I honestly, I've been asked this so much, like recently, and
Maybe it's a sign.
I do think about it like frequently, and I think eventually I do want to like own my own venue. I mean,
Whoa.
maybe not just me. Like
Okay.
maybe I need a team or like a co-owner, but I think like that's what would kind of bring everything I've done together.
That
And
is
it's
that
just
was not
kinda-
what I was expecting you to say. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love
No, I
that.
think I would love to like at least like run it, I guess. But yeah, I think that would be like really cool and just kind of like bring together everything I've done because I've done touring. I know how to look at venues from like an artist side. And then I've also like, I mean, I've worked at various venues. I obviously work at a venue now. It's kind of like I have like all sides, and I feel like I mean, there's probably things I'm gonna have to learn, like finance and like all that stuff.
Just
but it's
hire
like,
someone for that shit.
yeah, just gotta someone else do it.
Yeah.
But I think that would be like really cool for me. I think that would be like the full circle moment.
Yeah.
Is like to own a venue.
Do you see yourself in LA for a long time?
I do. I didn't when I first moved here. I was like, oh, this is scary.
Yeah.
But I feel like now that I'm like actually like finding friends and like doing cool things and like really getting my groove and like, just like finding a routine and like, yeah, I think I could see myself here for a while at least, like maybe not my entire life, but it's just kind of like where it takes me. This was a huge leap for me just to be like, yeah, I'm just going to go move. And I moved within a month, it wasn't like a planned thing. It was just kind of like, all right, let's go do it. And so I think that probably prepared me to do anything else
Those are the
that I
best
really want to
kinds.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
I have to ask you, okay.
Yeah.
Because you've seen like so many shows. What's your ultimate number one favorite show you've ever seen?
oh my God.
Sorry, that's a big,
That is a
loaded
giant question.
Because I feel like there's really good artists that
Yeah.
sing well and stuff, but then there's like the performers.
There's like the show.
Like for me, I mean, Miley Cyrus is my girl. So like her Bangers tour brings me to
man.
tears.
I never saw it, but I really wish I did.
I still look back at the Staples Center. I still look back on
Yeah.
my videos and it literally brings me to tears. And it was like from my shitty phone because it was like so long ago.
Yeah.
And she's like riding on a hot dog. And I'm just like, man.
You're like,
Like I went to that
man,
tour
I
also
wanna-
in
That's
Detroit,
the-
and
and-
it was
You're like, I wanna ride on a
amazing.
hot dog.
Her
Amazing.
the props and everything.
Yeah.
so good.
She
I
rode
need to go.
around.
She's gonna announce a tour soon.
I know. And I
so
literally am
excited.
going to start crying right now. I can't. I am.
Darcy's like, I gotta be front row.
I literally, there's like Swifties, like I don't know
yeah.
what Miley's fans are, but like I will die for her.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I
it's-
love her.
I
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I've never seen her, but I can't wait for the moment. I feel like it's so much easier to see people in LA too. So
Yeah.
I'm just like,
I even went to her Dead Pets tour. Did you go to that one?
No,
Yeah.
what was that?
So exactly. It was like
What?
she did this like SoundCloud album. It was like Miley Cyrus and her Dead Pets because her like dog Lloyd died,
oh
Yeah, Floyd.
Wait, I do
Floyd?
remember
Floyd.
this now.
Floyd.
remember she
Floyd
had the
came
big
up
Floyd
the big
thing
Floyd on
in
stage.
bangers,
Oh
yes.
my god. But yeah, and so it was in like the Wiltern Theater she played at.
Oh, I do love the
that's
Wiltern.
awesome, 'cause
yeah.
it's a little
It
bit
was-
smaller.
The Wiltern's really
venue.
cool.
It was
Dream.
amazing. And again, tears, beach balls were flying, people were
I love
twerking.
that.
I'm
that.
bringing it all back. It's great. It's great. Anyways, what was your
Man.
favorite? Enough about me.
I'm like,
Miley.
wow, that performance.
Sometimes the other night I had a dream about her that we were making out.
And you were like,
I've had that
yes.
dream. I've had that dream a million times. It's great. I always
Oh
wake
my
up
God.
so pissed. I'm
So mad. I'm
like,
like,
what
but
the
then I wake
hell?
up and I think I could do it.
maybe it's manifesting.
Yeah.
If I was in her vicinity, I think I could have enough swag to really pull
Yeah.
it.
No, yeah.
I think you could.
And I think she's the kind of person that
Thanks,
is
guys.
like, no, I think so, yeah. And I
Yeah.
think she's also the kind of person that would be like, yeah, cool, sure.
Yeah, she'd
you
be-
know,
she'd be
like she's
down.
totally chill about it.
Yeah.
Oh God, performance.
Tough one.
Honestly, okay, I don't know why this is the first person that comes to mind, but Daddy Yankee was so good. Daddy Yankee
random.
was
I was not
so good. He did 5 nights at the Forum.
Oh my God. Who's
And, like,
going to Daddy Yankee? What
His-
year was this?
Oh man,
It was recently.
2022.
Oh my.
It, like literally
even-
between
I don't even know a
between
song.
July and August, Gasolina. Come on.
Oh,
You know that
okay.
song.
Okay.
But like his performance was insane. like so good. I couldn't stop watching.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
so good. It was like the whole production was just insane. Like
Daddy Yankee.
it's YouTube it. It's great.
Might have a new fan in Darcy. 'Cause I need to go.
It was so
I
good.
love the
And
performance.
I didn't get to go meet him, but my boss went down and like met him, and he was just the nicest person. And he was very thankful. Another thing I do is I'm in charge of artist gifting. So I kind of decide like what we gift the artist, and it's always, we go very big at the forum.
so fun.
Yeah. So we got Daddy Yankee a custom pair of Nikes. So we had this like woman that we work with a lot. She like custom paints like shoes and stuff. So we did like his
Oh wait, who is that?
like his
I think I've seen
logo?
that girl.
Jerry Coco is what she goes by.
I've seen her shoes are really cool.
Yeah, she's
Well,
oh my
we should
god,
throw one
she's
up.
great.
They're
Yeah.
really cool.
Post-production?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll send you a picture of the Daddy Yankee one.
Yes. Oh, please do.
And she did such a good job. And he was like, oh my God, like whoever does all this gifting, like, thank you so much. And like, these are so cool. This is so nice of you guys. Like, he just couldn't say enough. And so my boss was like, he said thank you to you. And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, his show was honestly so cool. And just knowing he was nice and like thankful was even better.
Yeah.
I love when artists are like, actually like, this is so cool. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Like actually very nice. Obviously like Harry's performance was great. Like he is just a performer. Like that's just what he is. And like just seeing his different outfits and whatever.
You literally get to go to every good show.
It's
because
so crazy.
everyone plays the forum.
There has literally been,
I'm like-
I don't think any of the artists that I've worked with so far, I mean, I'm sure there's a few, I can't remember who, but like I think since the day I started working there until now, I had never seen any of these artists before. Like in my life. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I get to see Lizzo? Like what? And like I was so excited about it. And I was like,
also,
this
are
is
you
insane.
Taylor? She's playing the SoFi or the?
Taylor's playing SoFi. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
I know.
Are you
She's
going? Do you like
way
Taylor?
too big for the forum? I don't love Taylor. I would go see her. I just
Oof,
I don't have
be careful.
plans to
Don't say those words out loud.
I know. Me and Sam
Sorry,
are like,
guys.
what?
Yeah,
Sorry,
they're
guys,
big,
sorry, guys.
big
That-
Swifties.
That's
over
a
here.
very unpopular opinion. I'm so sorry. I would definitely like I totally respect her and like appreciate her and like I get why people love her and I would definitely go see her, but I just can't with those ticket prices.
Yeah.
So.
I got so lucky. I was I had Lover tickets. And so then because I wasn't able to get tickets the first time around, she sent
Yeah.
out the Ticketmaster thing. So I got floor seats for $300.
That's really not bad at all.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'll take
Swifties
that.
don't come for me. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah, yeah. No, it's okay. It's okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's just been really cool.
That's
Like
so
I
fun.
just, it's crazy that I'm just like we had a festival, not a festival, but well, I guess it kind of is, but like the iHeartRadio
Oh yeah.
show came through a couple months ago, and I had never seen any band on that bill, and I was like, wow, like I got to see Fall Out Boy for the first time. The first time.
Nice.
Why was that my first time? I don't know.
I haven't
but-
seen them either. Yeah.
And then like Red Hot Chili Peppers, they were really good too. Like,
Did you
they're-
see that video that's like super viral right now? There was like a busker in a Darth Vader costume, and he started playing the dun, 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 what's the famous song? I can't. A Red Hot Chili Peppers song.
yeah.
Anyways, he played it like when the concert was getting out. So then everyone from the entire concert was just like screaming at the top of their
Oh my
lungs, and there's like people
God.
videoing
I'm
it.
sure
It
that
was
was
the coolest
so
video.
viral.
It
Yeah.
like gave
I
me
need to see
chills.
that.
That's so cool. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's just like I was like, wow, I haven't seen anybody on this lineup, and like it was just so cool.
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
so cool.
man.
And I like watched the Red Hot Chili Peppers with my boss, and it was like the best thing. She's like, we're gonna go watch this whole thing. And I was like, okay, cool. Like,
Are you ever bummed that you are, well, because does it not feel like you're working like during the show though? Because I'm like, are you ever bummed that you don't get to just be and enjoy when you're at the forum? Because like you're always working.
I guess yes and no. Like I'm not like, oh man, I can't believe I'm at work right now. But because it's like I love doing it, and like I just can't believe that like that's just my job. Like it's so it's
Yeah.
like sometimes I go into work and I'm like, this is literally my job. Like sometimes I'll just be like, yeah, let me get you like I don't know, whatever they need. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, this is my job. This is crazy. But there are times where I'm like, I just want to like go to a show. You know, I just want to be there. That's why I said like I like going to shows, because I'm like, I don't have to worry about working. I don't have to worry about anybody asking me to do something. It's like I can drink. Like I don't have to,
Yeah.
you know, I can
Just
just
enjoy
like
it.
be there, and that's just like, you know, it's like for my enjoyment, but it's also enjoyment at work. It's not just like, oh, I can't believe I'm not watching this with my friends and you know, having a drink. It's like, this is literally your job. Like I feel lucky every show I get to work.
Yeah. Did you have, when you were like a kid, did you have like something or like a band or an artist that was like, why I want to work in?
The Jonas Brothers.
Really?
Absolutely.
And you got to go see them
I
recently.
know, it was so funny. It's
that's so cool.
yeah, no, they were it for me. I saw they were my first concert when I was 12 years old.
Oh my God.
I was in lawn seats. I was having the time of my life. But it was like that where I was like, oh man, this just like, it just made me like, I don't know, it just made me feel something that I was like, this is like what I'm passionate about. Like this is just like,
this is where I need to be.
Yeah, like it just ignited something in me, and like it just like music was just like the saving grace. I don't know. It was just like,
Are you musical yourself at all?
Not really. I mean, I was in choir all throughout high school. I did drama club. I was in plays. I was like stage managing and like doing all that stuff. So I was like in it, but I was like, I'm not very. I mean, I had to take a few classes.
The performer thing wasn't. Yeah.
The performer is not in me. I mean, I took a few classes in college. They were required classes like piano, guitar, like music theory, and like I was good at it. Like I wasn't like amazing, but I was like this. Like I can read music, I understand it, but I was like I was not going forward with it. I was like, guitar's
you're
too
like
hard.
one of those people that fully followed their passion. Like you're like, I love music. I want to find a way to be in it. I'm gonna work in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was just like the thing I found like an escape. Everyone says this, I feel like, but I found an escape in music. It's like whatever happens at school. Like I was bullied. I was like, I hated school. I just like did not like it. It was like hell for me to go there every day. And it's like, things in my childhood, I was like, but I get to come home and listen to the Jonas Brothers. Like
it's not funny, but it's funny because it's the Jonas Brothers.
No, you can laugh at it because it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious. Like I still remember like me in my bedroom with my Jonas Brothers CD, and I was just like, I hate my life, but this is making me feel better. Like
what song? What song really did it for you?
Probably When You Look Me in the Eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was like that one where you're just like, yes. Like, just like, but obviously like, I mean,
I'm a love
every
bug
song.
girl.
Wait, are you a Nick or
love
Joe? I'm not even going to say Kevin, but so.
She's like, I'm not even including Kevin.
Nick or Joe?
There's
Joe.
Kevin fans.
Joe all the way.
Yeah, same.
I've always been Joe. Because he's so funny, but he's also so cute.
I think
like,
he's the cutest.
Yeah.
I like when Nick kind of did his little like solo thing.
Yeah.
The bacon song.
Oh yeah.
What is
But
that?
Nick,
Like,
okay,
sizzle
so
like
actually
bacon?
Nick, that was his solo thing, but he did like a solo thing a long time ago called Nick Jonas and the Administration. And it was they were good. Yeah.
I
They
need to
performed like
listen.
on the Grammys like forever ago, and they were like really good. Like I still listen to that album. It's really good, but that didn't last long. And then he did like his like bacon chains, whatever, like solo thing. But yeah, it was.
the
And then
Jonas
now it's like
Brothers.
crazy because like literally works for the Jonas Brothers, and I'm like, this is so cool. Like this is full circle.
That's so
And
nice.
so yeah, he like got me into the show, and it was so great. I was like, this is so cool. And I was like, I brought my friend Sarah, who had never seen the Jonas Brothers before, and I was like, I'm sorry, what?
What?
And so she was so excited, and she like, I was like, Sarah, I'm sorry, but like I'm gonna go hard during this. And like we weren't even on the floor, like we were just like,
Yeah.
in a section, and like everyone else is pretty much sitting, and I'm like, what? How can you sit right now? And I'm just like, I'm going hard. And she like took a video of me, and I was like, this is like my thing. Like, and it's just like, my mom was always like, oh, it's a phase, like the Jonas Brothers. And I'm like, no, it's not.
Not a
Mom.
phase, Mom.
I'm 27 and I still love them. Yeah.
That's probably people think. We're getting to time. We're being told.
Okay.
Okay. So I guess, is there any last any things that people should know about the industry? I think we went over advice and stuff, but any last words of wisdom from Becca?
It's gonna feel like you're gonna feel very defeated, because you're gonna get a lot of no's, and you're gonna get a lot of like missed opportunities where you're like, oh, I want to be doing that, or like, whatever. But you just got to keep going. You just got to keep pushing. You just got to keep making yourself like available. You just got to keep saying yes. You just got to keep wanting to learn. Like I was shot down so many times for things, and I was like, you know what, whatever. Like I was just like, this is what I want to do. So like,
roll
it's
with the
not,
punches.
there's no doubt in my mind that this is what I want to do. And like someone telling me no, or like, or like maybe like you're not good enough in a way, is like not gonna deter me from wanting to keep moving forward. So just got to keep pushing through. It's like it's a hard business. It's really, really hard. And it's a grind. So you're gonna have to do things that you're just like, why am I doing this? I don't even do this for myself. Like, I don't clean this hard for myself, but it's like, you just got to keep going.
Right. Well, thank you so much for being here and like
Thank
sharing
you.
everything
This is
about
so fun.
what you do. Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And yeah, give us 5 stars on iTunes. Okay, that's it.
5 stars.
Oh, do you want to be found?
Do I want to be found?
Yeah, like
On social media?
Oh yeah, sure.
okay, where can people find you?
Instagram. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Becca_Miner.
Becca_Miner. Okay,
Yeah,
cool. If people might DM you and ask like how they can get into the industry.
Network, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Network. I'm here for it.
all the
Yeah,
time.
I'm here for it.
Well,
Thank
thanks
you.
again.
Thank you. Woo.
Thanks for listening to that Onomy podcast.
Onomy is a creator-led educational platform that teaches you the things you wished you learned in school so you can thrive in adulthood. Onomy lessons are completely free and they're taught by some of your favorite creators from around the internet. Head to onomy.co to start learning about things like budgeting, investing, taxes, how to thrive in your relationships, how to find your dream job, and so much more. That's onomy.co, onomy.co. See you there.